Welcome to the first episode of What Drives You Season 3. I am joined by one of the most important people on the planet to me because without her, I would not exist. I did an episode last season with my father, and I thought it would only be right to bring on my mother. So please allow me to introduce you to my mother, Andrea Hassell. Mom, how you doing?
Good morning. Fine. Good. Thank you. Glad to be here.
Great. Well, one of the first questions I like to ask people on the show is, like, who are you? What is your story?
So my story starts as, of course, born in Bermuda, and the youngest of seven, to Betty and Eugene Gilbert. I was educated in Bermuda. However, I went to college in the U.S. and it's been a journey. I was married at 20, first child, you at 22, and Tien after that I was 28, and Tanae at 29. So my journey started very young, being responsible, being a mother, a wife, and having to care for the family. So it's been a pleasant, very enjoyable journey. I have no regrets about my life, and I'm very pleased with my children, my grandchildren, and I look forward to what greater things to come for everyone in the family.
Coming from Bermuda and moving to the States, what what was that experience like for the first time that you came to America because of how small Bermuda is?
I was prepared already because I went to college right after 1 year after high school. I went off to college, so I kind of knew what was expected. And in terms of living in America, I did live with a relative when I went to college, so I kind of knew how to navigate living in America. Learning their style of culture, basically learning their culture. And so having to pack up with the family, bringing you at the age of two, to America, that was more of a challenge. But, my mom stepped in and she came to help raise you. Well, Dad and I went to college. And so it wasn't difficult at all. I just knew that this is something that we had to do. Dad and I had to go to college. And so it wasn't difficult at all. I had previous experiences of living in America prior to actually leaving with you and Dad to go to college. So I already had a master's. I mean, I had my associate's degree, so I just had to get my bachelor's degree. So it wasn't difficult.
What is it that has motivated you to keep going? What makes you get up every morning and say, I'm going to keep doing this?
To be honest, my mom, or actually the women in my life, just not just my mom, but the women in my life. Um, I'm very creative in sewing, and I found out that my great grandmother, she was a seamstress as well. So to know that I'm continuing her legacy, even if your grandmother, Nana Paula, she was a woman that I was closer to her during your time than I was with my own mom, and because she gave me, she was very close. Every weekend from the age of 6 months, she had you for the weekend, and we just picked you up on a Sunday, so I had time to talk to her about you and what you done and all of that. So I was able to have more quality time with Nana Paula. So she gave me little bit tips and stuff like that with raising you, and so, and then also like with my mom, my mom was a baker. She was a friend to so many. She was a prayer warrior, and so I learned that from my mom. So it was a little bit of everybody. And then also with like my mom's side, my grandmother, great grandmother, she was a baker as well. She was a Doolin, and so Doolins are known to be great cooks. So all of those experiences in those women's lives have motivated me to be where I am today. What gets me up every morning is to know that, okay, I've got another day to create, another day to make things better than I was the day before. So those are the things that motivate me, just kind of to continue on the family legacy.
Family is definitely something that it's you've instilled in us and is really important. Even though I feel like sometimes I'm the outlier to the family just because of how I've grown up, being so far away from most of my family.
Mm-hmm.
Majority of my life has been spent in the U.S.
Right.
My grandmothers and grandparents and aunts and uncles, cousins, and nieces and nephews. Um, they're all back in Bermuda.
Mm-hmm.
But part of the reason why I moved closer to Charlotte to be here in Charlotte is so that I could be, at least a little bit closer to family.
Mm-hmm.
Bermuda is now a direct flight away versus being, the several hours of travel
Yes.
that I've.
I was in California. Yes,
I mean,
appreciated it as well.
California and Japan.
Yeah.
Japan was the.
Yeah.
I was literally on the other side of the earth.
Right. I remember when you flew back. It was like 24 hours, right?
When I flew back, March 17th
Mm-hmm.
was the longest day of my life
Mm-hmm.
because I left Tokyo, Japan at 11 a.m. on March 17th. I arrived in New York at 11 a.m. on March 17th.
Mm-hmm.
And then I sat in the airport for 10 hours and arrived in Bermuda at 11 p.m. March 17th.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I got off the flight.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that was a very, very, very long day. Yeah. But yeah, now that I have, our children and stuff, like I said, being close to the family and having them spend time and understand and know who their cousins are and stuff like that is very important to me.
I think also too technology helps, because now Miko, 2 years old, he can call me on his sister's iPad. One day in class, I'm like, my phone's ringing, the same thing, and I hit the accept button, and Miko's like, hi Nana, so technology really helps to know that you can communicate more frequently with those who don't live with on the same island, same place as you are. So
yeah, that FaceTime has definitely been a lifesaver for long distance, family relationships or just relationships in general. Just being able to see, mannerisms and smiles and all kind of stuff definitely makes the conversation a lot different than just hearing a voice or reading a letter.
Yes, I would definitely agree.
And so that's definitely been very helpful in the process. My next question is that I want to ask is, what do you feel like has made you successful?
Family support. That's definitely has made me successful. When I went, like I said, when I went to college after high school, I went stayed with Kenisha's grandmother, and so that was an extended family member. Took me into her home, taught me some life skills, improved my baking and cooking skills because I had to do that in her house. When having you guys, when we were living overseas, my family that helped financially often, more than enough. Every Christmas, you guys got something underneath the Christmas tree because of my family support. And so, and even to today, they still support us, support you, financially to children. So I would say family has always been what helps me to be who I am today. And I just try to do my part, come visit you guys and do my part with Kenisha, her children. So I'm just giving back what was poured into me, and I just like to give it back to the family so that our as a family, we are very close, and we live next to each other, but we get along. It's not like we live next to each other and we don't get along.
For the most part.
yeah, for the most part, yeah. But so it's to me, it's all about family. And I was thinking about I wrote the book Anthony the Ant, almost like 20 years ago, and my key points were faith, focus, and faith, focus, and follow through. Those are my 3 key points. And now I would say 20 years later, my 3 F's are faith, family, and fellowship. Faith, family, and fellowship. Those are my 3 points, because I found that, definitely I hold on to my faith, and I find that family is very key, and the fellowship with family makes that bond even stronger. So those are my three keys.
Okay. Because this channel is called What Drives You.
Hmm.
And I feel like I know the answer to this already because it's been on my bucket list of things I want to get you. But if money were no object, you didn't have to worry about your grandbabies um, or your kids, what car, what would be your dream car?
You know what is interesting? Because of family, you might think some expensive, elaborate car. I like to keep life simple. If I had like a SUV, or maybe a minivan where the whole family can fit and we're comfortable when we have to drive somewhere. Because again, it's about that fellowship, building community with my own children and my own grandchildren. So something that's comfortable. I don't have, I'm not a brand person. I don't have to have a brand. I just want a car that, is energy efficient, good on the gas, brakes work, the simple things of life. I'm not about being showy and stuff like that. So I like simple. I'm very happy with my Kia. It takes me where I need to go. It's energy. It's fuel efficient. Um, I keep it up. Maintenance and stuff like that. So it runs good. So yeah. So I don't have a particular car, particular brand, but just the size of the vehicle for all of us.
So no more Jaguar?
No more Jaguar. No.
All right, cool. Because I'm not a huge fan of British automotives and their reliability. So, although nowadays your Hondas and Kias are about the same price, so you're not really paying that much difference.
Yeah.
But no, that's good. Like you said, family is very important to us, so that makes sense. And seeing how I think I inherited my driving thirst, I would say, from both you and Dad, because being in Bermuda, it's only 21 square miles.
Yeah.
Can't really drive anywhere. And one of the reasons why, like, I've been in America for so long, it's for the simple fact that I can pick up and drive 3 hours and be in a whole different environment. I can drive for 3 hours and not be seeing the same things 3 times.
Right. Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I love. But one of our favorite vehicles that we've had over the years is still the Dodge Caravan.
Yeah. I would agree. I'd agree.
That was like my favorite one. Even though I got into an accident in it, it wasn't my fault. You remember that when I got hit in New York?
No.
Yeah. I got hit in New York because someone came out of a lane that had a bunch of traffic in it to try to turn, and they merged into my car and then tried to say it was my fault. I'm like, there was nobody in front of me.
Right. I don't remember that at all.
I'm sorry.
I just remember our road trips, singing and all of that, the jokes, all that, just building, our relationship.
What was that one gospel Christian album that we used to listen to?
We always listened to Kirk Franklin.
No, but it was the Jonathan Slocum.
Oh yeah, yes, Jonathan. Yes, it was all the
Do you love Mama now?
And also, remember all the pastors? How that was a comedy one, right?
Yeah, we used to like that. It was a Christian comedy album. I remember that vividly because that was he remixed Stomp.
Yeah. Kirk Franklin, that was Stomp.
Lord, these roaches, they driving me crazy.
Yeah.
Ray gets them high. They skip and fly. Yeah, every time I see these roaches, it makes me wanna stomp.
Yeah, those are the days,
Yeah.
So yeah,
some of the best road trips I've had in my life have been in minivan. Even in college, we took a minivan up to Alabama A&M for like a dance competition. It was a great time because we had a plug to change it to like the 9 volt. So we have my computer plugged in. So as we're driving, I had my laptop open and I was DJing. Like had the DJ do the speakers and just playing songs, and we just vibing for it's like a 6-hour drive. So it's not too bad.
Right.
But we were just literally in the passengers in the second row seat, just acting like I'm DJ Quick or something. That was a very great time. Very great road trip in Alabama. So, mother.
Yes, son.
As you've kind of navigated through family and stuff like that, is there one or multiple moments, like pivotal moments, that you remember that kind of changed the trajectory of your life into where you are now?
Definitely, I would say the divorce, from your dad. That was very pivotal for me. Like I said, I started out young. I look at your sisters. At their age, I was married to 3 children. And so that definitely changed. So I didn't. Once the divorce came, I didn't know who Andrea was. Who was Andrea? I was mom. I was pastor's wife. I was dad's wife. I was all those things to other people, but who was Andrea? So I went to a counselor, and prior to the divorce, I went to a counselor, and she helped me. Those are just titles. But who's Andrea? And we dug deep into finding out who is Andrea. And so, do I love Andrea? And I didn't know that I really loved Andrea because I didn't know who Andrea was. And so, like now, you see if I've lost the weight. I've launched my own business, Betty's Collections, and I'm just finding things in terms of school. I'm come September, I have a new position in school, so I'm just loving Andrea. For me, I'm happy to just walk on the beach. We got some lovely beaches in Bermuda. So when I'm stressed from school, on my way home, I stop to Horseshoe and I take a walk from Horseshoe to Warwick Bay, and I come back. And I'm, to relieve that stress, so that I'm not walking into my house with that stress. I've relieved it before I even walk, and it's just Tian and I in the house, so it's not like I'm going home to some children and all that, to continue to stress me. But I'm life that has pivotal, the divorce pivots me in that I wanted to know who's Andrea. I don't settle because I know who Andrea is. I'm not trying to prove anything to anybody. I'm just being Andrea. I'm just loving Andrea. I love Andrea because I know who Andrea is now. One of the best advice my counselor gave me is that you can either react or you can create. And so I create moments that give me pleasure, happiness. And like coming up here to this, while school's out on break, I came just to hear, just to see my grandchildren, just to love on my grandchildren, love you as well. But, Feely, now get your grands.
As you can hear, once you have children, you no longer become the love of your parents' life. It's all about it's all about the grandbabies.
They say if you could have grandchildren first, you would have them, but so it's about being happy with who I am and knowing who I am. So that was a pivotal. I would say the divorce definitely pivoted me into a better trajectory of who I am today.
Okay. So kind of going into the last question here. And this one sometimes can get pretty deep. As we mature and gain, years of life, at some point, those years come to an end, and not wishing it on you or anytime soon or anything like that. I think you're in great health. You're doing good, so I expect you to be around to make it to your grandbaby's graduations from college. But if you were to leave this plane of the universe and go into the ancestral place, like how we saw in Black Panther, what do you want to be remembered for?
I want to be remembered for being a friend. I feel as if I'm a very good friend to a lot of people. I don't have too many friends myself, but I'm a very good friend. Through the years, I've been that friend. Well, that was one of the things that really at Nana Betty's funeral, was that, Ms. Mabry, she was like, that was her thing, was that Nana was such a good friend. She is, always there for me, she, when we always had our prayers, and, Nana was a very good friend to me. And so that to me is one of the things that I seem to believe, that I'm a very good friend to people, and I'm willing to, do so much for people to make them, happy. And so that will be my thing. And also, building in terms of family. Well, of course, I wanted to be known for my faith. Of course, that I lived a Christian life as a Christian. With terms of family, I've planned actually 6 family reunions for the family. It was 2 for the Russells, 2 for the Dylans, actually 5. I'm sorry, 2 for the Russells, 2 for the Dylans, and 1 for the Gilberts. So that to me is a legacy in itself. That
Yeah.
I enjoy the fact that when I go to a funeral now, I don't have to say, is that person related to me? I know for a fact that these people are related to me because we've had reunions.
Yeah.
And I know, like with the Gilbert reunion, one of our cousins, she was there, and she had a photo album of our descendants, and to think that, like, 8 months later, she passed away. So, like, to know that I have pictures of people who were in our family, our family, to know that we physically have pictures, and I know who these people are. It's just the name, is a face now to that name. So that legacy, family legacy, and then friendship in terms of fellowship. I've been a good friend to those 3 things: faith, family, and fellowship. This is what I really want to be known for.
One of the things that you said just now that was kind of interesting is that, like, you feel like you're a good friend, but you don't have very many friends. And that is something that I feel like I've struggled with. Just throughout the years, I've always been. I think it's part of us just to be really giving.
Right.
I've had people in his driving skills sometimes. I would have had it on camera for you if you needed insurance. No, I've always been really giving. I've had friends live in my living room for months on end, just because they, were in down hard times or whatever. And I wasn't in that much better of times, but at least
right. We had a coach that they was able to.
And so, but then, like, not always receiving like thanks for it.
Right. Yep.
Or not even, like, I'm not asking for a whole lot, but one instance that comes to mind, I had a friend of mine. He was living on my couch for a while, and he was using my bathroom and stuff like that when he needed a shower, all kind of stuff, those kind of things, which is fine. But I think it was like Christmas or something came up, and he got another friend like a custom hat to say thanks for helping me out. And I'm like, you was living on my couch.
You have to pay rent, right?
You wasn't paying rent. I mean, you were buying groceries, but most of the groceries that you were buying were for you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm just like, dude,
Mm-hmm.
you could have. And it wasn't the fact that it was that he gave it to him, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he did help him. So I'm
Right.
not.
Right. Right.
But like nothing,
Mm-hmm.
not even a card,
Mm-hmm.
not even a thank you letter. It could have been you could have scribbled on a T-shirt,
Mm-hmm.
thank you, and I'd have been like, okay, I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate you.
Right.
Like you at
Right.
least. So, that concept that you just said is that something that I kind of struggle with. And I used to be really upset, not upset, but like I'll feel a way when um, I wouldn't hear from people,
Mm-hmm.
especially because I moved around a lot.
Right.
Like
Mm-hmm.
you have friends that you went to high school with that you still see
Primary school too.
right,
Mm-hmm.
and so like, but for me, I I don't know most of the people that
Right.
I haven't spoken to them in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Now because of social media, I'm able to kind of keep in contact, but like
Mm-hmm.
I don't really see them that often. And I used to really like that used to really bother me.
Mm-hmm.
But I realized, and I think it might have been like after homecoming or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
is that you know it's not about me. Like people have their
Yes.
own things going on. Out of sight, out of mind is a real thing.
Right.
That happens. That comes up. One thing that I found that I'm grateful for is that people still remember who I am if I do hit them up.
Right. Yeah. Same here. I would agree.
Now it does help that I have a very unique name, so it's not very many Tanikos in the world.
Right.
So if I say my name, they're gonna be like, okay. I'm thankful that people remember who I am and they do hit me up.
Right.
And so I think that's because I've been such a good friend.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
I've been giving. I've given stuff to people sometimes when I shouldn't have.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, just for the simple fact that I wanted it to be for them to have a good experience.
Right.
Like, and it's it's been to a fault sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I would agree. I'd agree.
Um, and sometimes I have to prioritize myself a bit more,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of what I've been doing now. It's just like
Mm-hmm.
kind of more so focusing on my needs and what I want to do
Mm-hmm.
to have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I've been like working out more and those kind of things, because like I feel like focusing on myself is what, like, the more I focus on myself. I
Mm-hmm.
know it sounds selfish, but the more stuff has gotten better for me.
Mm-hmm. Well, instead of saying selfish, just say self-care. You
Yeah,
know, it's been more about self-care. So, and if you don't take care of you, who
it
else
will.
will?
So
So,
yeah.
and to your point, for me, not having friends, because I come from, I got four sisters.
Hmm.
I've come from, and two brothers. So having them in my life, um, I don't have to have, like, for the Friday night, just go over to Kay's house and just watch a movie and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So for me to have a friend, I have my sisters, and my family, so that I don't have to have all these people in my life, because more people in your life, more drama, so
This is true.
without the other drama, I can I can just be, I'm happy. Like when I went to the cherry blossom thing on Saturday, and I walked from the Black History Museum down to Martin Luther King, it was thousands of people, and I was all by myself walking, trying to find Martin Luther King. Needed to go say hi to him, and I did, and I never felt lonely. I never felt afraid. I never felt anything. I just was walking it and just very happy to be in that place, to experience the cherry blossoms, as well as to experience, to see Martin Luther King monument.
Hmm.
So, gotta go back for the Black History Museum, because I got there too late because of the bottleneck traffic.
Yeah.
So, I'll come back to go visit that one day.
No, same. Well, um, I love this conversation,
Mm-hmm. I did too.
and it's been very insightful. I'm glad that I was able to record this.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things that I want to do with this channel too, is just record these conversations so that when I have great grandchildren or something, I can be like, oh, this is what your grandmother, your great grandmother
Mm-hmm.
sounded
Yep.
like.
Right. And it's a recording, so they get to hear my voice as well as
Hmm.
not just, oh, I could tell, you could tell the story. You get to hear it, for yourself. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us today, and you know, looking forward to releasing this and just hearing the conversation. Hopefully, more people can have chats with their mothers,
Mm-hmm.
just about them in general.
I just want to say thank you, and I love you. Proud of you. Very proud of you. Very
Thank you.
proud of you.